Woo! So exciting. Hi everybody. Welcome to Brilliantly Sexy with Devina Kaur. And today it is my honor to welcome Dr. Joanne White, a holistic transformational author, speaker, coach, and NLP practitioner, as well as I just found this out right now that she's also a hypnotherapist. She's also the executive producer and host of Power Your Life shows, and her work has been featured in so many magazines, including the NBC, the CBC, the Fox, the Voice America. And I mean, is there something you don't do, Dr. Joe?
Sleep.
Wow, right? Like, you are so accomplished. And
thank you.
I am such a big fan of yours. I've been a fan of your work for the longest time. And I first met Dr. Joe when I got an opportunity to be interviewed on Dr. Joanne's show way back in 2018, maybe.
And we're going to do it again, right?
Yeah, we're going to do it again. So make sure that you're checking out Dr. Joanne White's work on joannewhite.com. The links are all below. Follow her on social media. And today we're going to have so much fun. We've been having fun behind the scenes and we've been giggling, we've been laughing. And, you know, joy and gratitude are the things that connect us to human beings. And right now, more than ever, do we need joy and gratitude? So Dr. Joe, please tell us about yourself. Please introduce yourself to the sexy, brilliant, very intelligent, very wonderful community. And thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much, Devina, for having me. It's a pleasure. And yes, we have been laughing because we need to laugh. And it's so important to do so and to find little pleasures, whatever they are, whether it's the birds singing. So you want me to introduce you?
So Dr. Joe has a new book coming out. Dr. Joe, what is it called? And I asked her, can you sing on camera? And she's like,
So basically, I have a joy ebook and a gratitude and joy music video that are going together for a very special price. And much of the proceeds are going to the World Central Kitchen. They're doing incredible work, not only in the United States with COVID, but they're doing work helping farmers, helping to sustain our planet in so many beautiful ways, providing food, providing education and training. And I really researched them because I wanted something that just really encompassed, again, global, going through challenges together. It's important that we serve one another.
So true. And like, this is such a testing, such a difficult time. As we're doing this interview, we're on edge with the elections. We're on edge with COVID. It's just a testing time and all. And, it's so hard to find happiness right now. Dr. Joe, what are some of your tools to find joy and happiness and gratitude? Your top 3 tips.
Okay, top 3. Well, firstly, gratitude actually opens the door to joy. So, what are you grateful for? Your child smiling, something silly that happened. I am grateful when I do my power walks in the morning and I see the birds, and I may sing that because the song that I have on the joy and gratitude music video, I've kind of edited it a little bit for the birds. And what's interesting, Devina, is when I'm out there singing to them, they don't fly away. They may think, well, who's this crazy lady? But maybe we like the music. Who knows, right? So what's important is that we really have joy inside of us. And even though we're going through such a transitional, crazy time, as you said, not only with everything that's going on with COVID, but here in the United States with everything with the election, people's frustration and anxiety and fear and anger, everything is like at the top. So one of the ways to really kind of bring that down is to focus on what in your life brings you gratitude. You and I just, I mean, I'm so grateful to be here, and what what we were doing before the show just brought up so much more joy because we were giggling and being silly. You can be silly with your animals, you can
Yes.
be silly with your children, you can even be silly with your friends and your spouse. I called up a friend, it's going to be silly. I called up a friend and because, you know, we're wearing those masks and my ear's sticking out. Like, I called up a friend just to be funny. And I said, you know, I'm looking at my ear and I don't think it's an ear that's from this planet.
You too, Dr. Joe.
Yes. But one of the ways to really, again, what, you know, do you need to actually do something in terms of joy every day? Yes. And again, what is it? What is it for you? For me, it's like doing my power walk, connecting with people. It is so important now, by the way, because a lot of us are in isolation. It's so important, Devina and everybody, to really reach out to people, even if you can't be physically with them. It's important to connect however way you can.
Yeah.
Just
And I want to say something to everybody who's here. Dr. just said that, Joanne just said that, you know, do something that gives you joy. And how do you know what gives you joy? It's through stillness and silence. It's through knowing what you like. It's through knowing what you dislike, and it's to understand yourself, to know that doing a power walk or meditating or, you know, eating organic food raises my vibration. And that's what it's all about. It's about finding who you are, knowing who you are, and then practicing radical self-acceptance. So go ahead, Dr. Joe.
so actually also like yesterday morning, I was in a kind of a down mood from everything that was going on, and I put on some music and I was dancing. Now, not for anybody else, just for me. And what it does is it really kind of elevated my feeling of joy. And so make those moments. And joy is about being able to access our emotions. Like I said, joy is inside of us. So fear and anger deplete that joy. But again, where do you find the joy, like you said, in terms of food, in terms of meditation, singing, being silly with your kids, being silly with your pets? My Selena isn't here anymore. I used to play hide and seek with her.
Oh yeah.
She was a little Siamese. I'd say, Selena, come find me. And I'd hide. So, I mean, and somebody said, Joanne, I think you're spending too much time with her. But the point was, it was fun and it was pleasurable. And she had as much fun as I did through that experience.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take something extravagant. It doesn't necessarily have to be expensive. It's more reaching inside and thinking about what really makes me feel good. And even if, like this morning, I told you I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I thought, what relaxes me? Because I made black bean soup at 5 o'clock in the morning, but it helped calm me.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, that's interesting. Yeah, I worked through election night, and I slept at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then but I woke up the usual morning routine, and then I was making breakfast for my daughter, and I was like, you know, I was kind of like zenning out and meditating while I was making breakfast, and then I said to myself, I was like, wow, that felt like a meditation, because being present in that moment of, you know, cooking or singing or playing with your pets or children, it's all about the nowness that elevates us, raises our vibration, as Dr. Joe said. So, you know, so yes, sitting in stillness and silence is wonderful if you can do that. But right now, it's really, really, you know, we got to be in this happiness zone, which is from inside throughout the day. So,
You know, on my power walk today, I met a woman and she and I were talking, and I was telling her I just made the black bean soup. And she said, you know, how it calms me. She said, what calms me is cleaning the kitchen, you know, my mop out. I said, not me, but for her. So it's again, what gives you calm? What gives you a sense of joy? And what are you grateful for? Even though we're in challenging times, I'm
mhm.
grateful to be alive. I'm grateful that you and I are having this conversation and we're connecting with people globally. That's a gift.
It really is. It really is. And to everybody who's here, we all have these gifts inside of ourselves. We're all the leaders of the community, of the people around us. First we got to find out who we are, accept ourselves, and then, like Dr. Joe said, like, these emotions, they're coming, they're going, they're constant. We need emotions to function throughout the day. But make sure that you are accepting not only your good emotions, but also the not so good emotions that show up.
What you need to do is you need to acknowledge them. Okay, so things are happening that are stressful and challenging, and there's a lot of grief. Don't disregard that, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to that,
Mm-hmm.
but don't stay there for 20 hours or 20 weeks or days or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Feel it, acknowledge it, and then find something else to be able to shift it. Now, oftentimes what interferes with our joy is our thoughts. So, what are you thinking about? What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on what's going to happen? Or are you focusing on, wow, the sun is out today?
Mm-hmm.
And it's for here, it was cold a few days ago. It's warm. The sun is out. I'm going to do another walk. And again, there are moments, like you said, living in the now. So each moment can carry something very, very precious. You
So,
have to pay attention to it. You have to be aware of it. And you have to really kind of check in every once in a while. What's my brain telling me? What's going on in that mind? And I teach people how to shift it, because oftentimes that happens so quickly, we're not even aware of it, but it could take us down a road that makes us not feel good. And instead, you have to be able to shift that, and you have to do it often consciously. What were you
so
going to
well. So well said, Dr. Joanne. And I mean, there's just so much, these little tips, these nuggets. That's what the important thing is. And if COVID is teaching us anything, it's that we cannot change the game outside, but we can change the game inside and
say?
inside, right? Like, especially when we don't have a job and we're starting to feel worthless, or we can't go out, have our normal routine, we can't do that. That's when you got to say, like, what is my reality? Because outside is not in my control, but the inside is. And that's where, the more, like you said, the more gratitude we give, the happier we feel, Dr. Joe.
I think it's also important, even though our routines are different, to create some kind of routine, whatever it is. Getting up at the usual time, doing certain things throughout the day that have some level of consistency. I think what's also important, Davina, is you said some people were not feeling good about ourselves. Look at what you've done in the past. Focus on how can you feel better about yourself? What is it that is going to allow you to feel good about you? Is it something that you did with a friend? Is it something that you did in your business? Is it the way you've been working with your kids? What is it that allows you to say, hey, good job? And by the way, and I tell this a lot, because many, many years ago, my brain would tell me, you can't do this, you can't do that, what's wrong with you? If you do that, you're going to mess it up. And it would be debilitating, Davina. It was like, how do I do anything if my brain is, and oftentimes when those thoughts are coming, they're
Mm-hmm.
loud. It's like No, but so you have to be able to, what I call, train retrain and reframe everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned to say, wow, good job. Because I had to start shifting because my brain was telling me really negative things about myself. So now it's like, hey, you did that. Good for you. You
Mm-hmm.
can give yourself a pep talk. You can be your own best friend and think about something that's important. How would you like to be treated? How do you want somebody to treat you? Well,
Mm-hmm.
the way you want somebody to treat you and the way you treat someone else, a child, an animal, a friend, a partner, that's the way you need to take care of yourself, with that kindness, with that love, with that respect.
I so love that, and I talk about it. Yesterday, I was writing an article for one of the magazines in India, and I said the same thing. And I said, you need to make yourself your own best friend. Like, treat yourself like you would treat your best friend going through this trauma. So it's, and that is the rule of your life. When you start having a relationship with yourself, the whole game changes.
Not only that, when you are being more respectful and more kind and more loving to yourself, you're reflecting that to other people. So
Mm-hmm.
they're going to treat you in that same way because they're going to be aware of what you're communicating and of how you're holding yourself and being in your life. And that's so important. Treat right now, you and I were talking about this earlier, and you've mentioned it too. We all need more kindness right now. We all need to feel good about ourselves and good about what we're doing, even if we're not doing much. So be gentle with yourself as well as with other people. It's
Mm-hmm.
really important because we're here to take care of one another right now, and you have, like you said earlier, we have to take care of ourselves first. On an airplane, when they have that mask, that oxygen coming down, what they say is, before you take care of your child, before you take care of your mother or whatever, make sure that you do that for yourself. Why? Because you're better equipped
Mm-hmm.
to take care of somebody else once you've done that for yourself. And I've done workshops on this too, because it's really important, because oftentimes we disregard ourselves.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. This is so well said, Dr. Joe. And you know what? The more kindness we give, the more we receive it. And another thing that you I've seen in your work is you're talking about being non-judgmental. So right now, more than ever, Dr. Joe, give us a tip about how to be non-judgmental, if that's possible at all.
That's a hard one because everybody has very strong views, especially about what's going on with the election or whatever. However, what does that do? When we're judgmental, we're seeing things in a very narrow way, and there's so much more. I was speaking to somebody the other day who said, well, I don't know if I could be friends with that person anymore. They're voting differently, and where are they coming from? And it made me step back a little bit and think, that friend hasn't changed. That friend is still your friend. You need to be able to acknowledge and focus on the the aspects that bring you together rather than what divides and separates you from your friends, from your family, from one another, even from yourself. What brings you together? And we all have such common, no matter our differences, there are beautiful things that can bring us together, and that is
Mhm.
so key now.
So well said, Dr. Joe. And something that I write in my book, Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious, is that how we judge others is exactly how we judge ourselves. So, just be more accepting, kindness, love, gratitude. We make it more complicated than it really is.
That's so important. We don't have to make it complicated. And when we're talking about kindness, and when we're talking about joy, when we're talking about gratitude, a lot of what gives us the pleasures are simple kinds of things. You mentioned food, right? I mean, what kind of food that you're allowed to eat, because some people are on special for their health or whatever, that gives you a sense of pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
What friend, I call up friends just to laugh. I
For
mean, I
sure.
tell jokes or whatever, like I told you before, just to give somebody a reason to smile. And
Yeah.
even wearing a mask, I was in the supermarket the other day, and this woman and I exchanged hellos or whatever, and I said, I can still see you smiling. It made her smile even more, even though, because you can, your eyes show the smiles.
Yeah,
And
they really do. And Dr. Joe, my last question to you before we go into our sexy, brilliant card readings. Um,
ooh,
what
I
you've
can't
got?
wait for that.
Yeah, you've got a radio show called Power Your Life, and it's on every Wednesday at noon. The links, the details are in the description, show description. Dr. Joe, why did you call it Power Your Life?
Because I think that that's what we need to do. We need to, and power your life doesn't mean everything that's so aggrandizing. Basically, even if you take one step today, one step into feeling empowered about yourself, whether it's making that black bean soup or doing something like that woman said earlier, that she was washing her kitchen floor, whatever it is, and something that allows you to feel good about yourself, that allows you to feel strong, whatever that is. And it doesn't have to be publishing a book, and it doesn't have, it could be something so small as what I just suggested, that makes you feel good about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, you feel stronger.
You
You
do.
feel more empowered.
You certainly do. And Power Your Life. Find Dr. Joe on drjoeandwhite.com, as well as follow all look up the descriptions. We've got a lot of information there. So, Dr. Joe, so these are the sexy, brilliant empowerment cards, and they're a little bit X-rated. So, if you've got kids here, please.
I don't know. All right, how do I pick it?
So we've got about 54 cards,
Number
and
7.
number 7, the 7, the number of the holy divine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Woo, let's see what the card reading says. It's the sexy, brilliant card, and it says, feeling good is sexy. Ooh.
Yes, it is.
Isn't that like so appropriate for what we're doing today and everything we've been
Want
talking
to
about?
feel more sexy? Feel good.
I love it. So I'm going to read it.
Yes.
When we accept ourselves, we feel good. People are drawn to us when we are happy, calm, and radiating vibes of positive energy. Our warm, loving feelings are embraced and reflected back to us. Feeling good is sexy and brilliant.
I love it. Yes,
Yeah.
let's do another.
Yeah, another one.
All right, let's see. Number 15.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so we've got 7 here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can't believe I'm doing this on camera.
I have to buy that because I'm going to use them. That it's important, by the way, before we buy those, because in the morning you can just turn a card over and it can help you with your day. Right.
They really do, and they're very sexy.
I don't
So this one is about, it says, orgasms are sexy. We don't often get this card, but you chose number 15. You wanted to do a second one, Dr. Joe. What is that message?
Well, all right, let's hear the message.
So it says, the orgasms are sexy. The big O is a celebration. We are sexual people. and sexual fulfillment is always important in the grand scheme of things. Enjoy orgasms to the fullest. As sexuality changes over time, claim it. It is your creative energy, guide it.
Speaking of creative energy, that chakra, because I work a lot with energy, and that chakra, which is the sexual chakra, but it's also the creative chakra.
Hmm.
So think
Which
about
which one is that one? The seventh one, the bottom one,
bottom,
the bottom one. Okay, yeah.
right? But what's important is that in terms of orgasm, you can take that sense of pleasure, that sense of heightened create and put it into creativity. And it may not be the sexual orgasm, but it certainly can fulfill that need for pleasure, and because they're so related.
That's so beautifully said. And when COVID started in March, I did a video and I said what to do with heightened sexual desire. So, and I said the very same thing, that the sexual desire is not a bad thing. You just have to learn how to manage it, transmute it. And one of the things I suggested in that was connecting to the creative energy. So
Well, because it's part of that creative force and you can utilize it that way. And that's important. So I think we need to shift a tiny little bit away from the orgasm. Can we do
please,
one more card?
let's do one more card. I love it, Dr. Joe. So we've got number 15 and we've got 54 more cards. Which one?
Okay, let's do 50. Sorry, you're going to have to count.
I'll count from the bottom. How's that? Number 50.
Sure.
All right, let's do this one. It's, oh my God, I can't even read this, Dr. Joe.
If it's too sexy, we won't do it. I must be exuding. Let's pick another card. Number four.
Number 4. All right.
When we're off camera, Devina, you'll tell me what that card is. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it says practice sexy fearlessness. And this is an important one because, when we are about to do a show, we're about to come online, where we share a message, we go on outside, we're wearing masks, we are living in fear. So this is important that we understand that fear is a low vibration. So, Dr. Joe, I'm going to read the card. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It is okay to be scared. Fight fear with love. We are all afraid to say the most important things. Say, I love you more. Say it to yourself. Say it to others. Look in the mirror and say it until you believe it. Do one thing a day that feels scary. And this is very, very powerful. It brings me back to our earlier conversation where we said, self-talk, where our brain is giving us these messages, but we need to overcome that. And that is what it means to be practice sexy fearlessness.
You have to acknowledge it, though. You can't just pretend it doesn't exist. And once
Yes.
you acknowledge it, and then, like you said, do something. I mean, oftentimes, like I remember, and I'm just going to talk real fast. I remember the first time I was doing a presentation for over 100 women, and I created a PowerPoint for the first time. Okay. I thought, oh, I'm just going to do it. Now, I was nervous if I didn't know if it was going to work or whatever, but I went through it anyway. Well, then it becomes second nature. And then you can go, hey, I did it. And you can start feeling better because you took that one step forward out of fear to empower yourself, to power your life. And that's what it's about.
That is so well said. And to everybody who's here listening right now, I want you to just take your right hand, your left hand, and just tap yourself on both your shoulders and say, wow, I am doing it, and that I am the divine light. Tap yourself.
I am the divine light, and I love myself.
And I love myself, and I am sexy, and I am brilliant. Yeah. So, it's about taking care of yourself in whatever form you are. that's how the joy and gratitude goes up, and we become a happier version of ourselves. And then choosing to be happy is our birthright.
And again, it's a choice. It's a choice where you're going to focus your attention, your thoughts, and your emotions. You have
So,
that choice. Those are the
so,
things that you are in control of, even when there's so much that you're not in control of.
so well said, Dr. Joe. And I want to say thank you to you for coming on the show.
Well, I
Please,
love you, Davina.
I love you, Dr. Joe. And please tell our audience where they can, what's your website and where they can find you and support you.
drjoannewhite.com, Joanne with an E, and I'm on Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook. You'll find there. And please, the Joy and Gratitude music video and the Joy ebook gives you a way to feel joyful and upbeat. And you mentioned something about hugging yourself. There in that video, there's a little girl in the video that looks in the mirror and later on gives herself a kiss in the mirror.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I write about that. I have those in one of my cards, Dr. Joe. Woo! Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And make sure you're finding the Sexy Brilliant cards on sexybrilliant.org. We are a registered nonprofit foundation to remove toxic shame and raise human consciousness. And we are so grateful that you're joining us for the show. If this show was helpful, please make sure that you are sharing it, paying it forward, because that is how we bring more joy and more gratitude to our lives, as well as start changing our karmic debt. Thank you so much, Dr. Joanne White, once again. And I look forward to seeing you on LinkedIn, on Twitter. And by the way, I'm a personal fan of yours, Dr. Joanne White, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you so much.
Davina, I feel the same way about you. You are an angel and a gift, not only to me, but to so many. Thank you. Thank you. It's been an honor to be on your show.
Thank you so much. And namaste to everybody. Please share this video and like, comment, and just follow Dr. Joanne White as well as myself, Devina Kaur, and it's an honor to serve you. Thank you.